Welcome back to the Baltimore Flockcast, the #1 Ravens podcast in the world. Man, this is a lot more exciting and not depressing. That last episode was terrible to do. Just nothing but doom and gloom. I was trying to find the positive in anything, but man, it was hard, especially after a heartbreaking loss. But let's get on the positive side here. Flacco is coming back to town. Pretty exciting. Everyone's got their uncles and their cousins from Dundalk saying, man, I hope they blow us out. Or not they, Flacco. Dude, no. I should have done the Dundalk accent. For some reason, I went a little southern there. It is just sickening. Quit that talk. I hope Flacco performs well. Actually, I don't. I hope he performs well against every team but us. That is a weird thing to say. Obviously it's our 30th year anniversary and it's our season opener. So it's kind of poetic that Flacco is making his debut against his former team in a game like that, to that magnitude. But we shouldn't be hoping he does well at all. I hope he throws 16 interceptions. Obviously, it's not possible. I don't know why 16 was the number that popped in my head, but I hope he does terrible. I hope we win by 70 points. We can honor him, give him a standing ovation, but wanting him to do good against our team, that's quite frankly weird. Yeah, I definitely think as I said, an ovation. I think there will definitely be a standing ovation at this game. I'm kind of upset I didn't get tickets to this when I picked out my tickets at the beginning of the year. But it's okay. We can watch it at home. I really doubt it, but I wonder if there will be anyone there that doesn't give him a standing ovation or quite even possibly boos him. And if they do that, I hope they get a beer poured on their head. Let's be honest here. But yeah, I don't want to put too much stock into the Flacco return, but I'm going to put a decent amount into it. We can talk about our favorite Flacco memories later in the episode once we cover more of the game preview. But man, Flacco coming back to town. It's kind of gross he's in a Browns uniform, but it would have been just as bad if he was a Jet, I guess. Didn't mind the Broncos or the Colts. Man, he's been everywhere. But I guess we'll just put it right out here. Do I think he's going to do great? Not really, but anything's kind of possible. We got Harold Fannin, Njoku, those double tight end sets, Dylan Sampson leaking out of the backfield because Judkins is still on the run from not the police, but I guess Roger Goodell. He might be getting suspended soon. Yeah, I'm a little worried about Harold Fannin. I think he's going to have a pretty solid game. Joe. Joe loves to throw those decent little checkdowns to his running back, his tight ends. And then he could gash us deep with Judy and Tillman. I'm a little worried. I'm not freaking out over it. But all I'm saying is it's possible that we get a little exposed from Joe. Your uncles and your grandpas are going to get a little excited in Dundalk for every one of those checkdowns or deep bombs. If Jair Alexander is anywhere near Tillman or Judy, you can kind of just chalk it up there. I'm not trying to hate on Jair back-to-back episodes, but man, you really got to prove yourself here to make me stop hating on you. Yeah, we talked about Mark Andrews in the last episode. I feel like it's that one meme where dude with the stick is just poking and he's like, please do something. That's me with Mark Andrews, especially owning him in both fantasy leagues and being a Ravens fan on top of that. It's terrible. I really thought he was going to come out of the gate swinging, especially after the way the year ended and being in a contract year. It's strange, especially Ravens in our past history. When we have a guy in a contract year, they ball out and then we just can't afford him anymore. I guess Mark's trying to do the complete opposite. He's going to be terrible and give us a really cheap discount, Maybe that's the plan. I really hope Mark does something. Do I expect anything? Absolutely not. If you didn't listen to the last Doom and Gloom episode, I was saying that I'm honestly going to start Harold Fannin over Mark Andrews in fantasy. It's just one of those moments where you just got to wait for Mark to prove himself and hope that Isaiah Likely is back and healthy. I haven't seen anything up until this time of recording about Patrick Ricard, if he's going to be healthy to play in this weekend's game. I would assume Likely is not going to be back. But Ricard, I'm really hoping he's back. Was not a big fan of Mitchell Payton out there, but he did well. No disrespect at all. But we really need Project Pat back. He's one of the keys to our team. Unsung heroes. Speaking of that department running the ball, Derrick Henry is going to be very angry. Uh, I don't know if you guys saw this. Man, sorry, well, throwing up dog hairs. Yeah, Derrick Henry posted on social media, and then he also had that press conference saying that the loss was his fault because he fumbled. I'm definitely anticipating Derrick Henry to come out with a vengeance. This is one of those games where they call it a get-right game. It's not fun for the Browns because we're going to get right. Especially Derrick Henry coming off of a career game, and he's still angry. What do you think's going to happen? If you guys want to have fun here, I know we cursed Mark Andrews last week on a bet, so I'm just going to say this is maybe a decent bet. Throw it out there for fun, a $5, $10 little wager. Bet Derrick Henry to run for 200 yards. That would be fun. But this dude's going to be angry. He's coming back for blood. But speaking of revenge and coming back for blood, I'm coming off of a loss, obviously. And this is also a home game for us and against the Cleveland Browns. Traditionally, we are very good at home. Traditionally, also very good against the Browns. Lamar, that is. I would not expect this game to be close. Obviously, the Browns aren't the best team in the league. This is all the recipe and the writes up for, as I said earlier, a get-right game. I'll give you our prediction later, but I definitely think this one is going to be, let's be honest, a blowout. I'm scared to say that word, but it's going to be. Let's see. Yeah, the defense should also be angry. I don't want to put any stock in them after putting up or getting 41 points put up on them. But hopefully defense should be angry as well and try to act like what they said they'd be, the 2000s Ravens defense. Do I think that'll happen? Well, let's hope. Not really, but hopefully we can show some flashes and keep Joe restrained. Yeah, my prediction, I guess we're just really flying right through this, man. My prediction for the game, I'm going to go with a blowout. Let's be honest. I'm going to say Ravens 44-10. The spread's 10 for this one. So the spread's already a pretty sizable margin. But I think, as we mentioned quite a few times, it has all of the things you want for a get-right game. Coming off of a loss, heartbreaking fashion, to a team that's, for lack of better words, beaten our ass the past 2 times in the playoffs, and now this last-second debacle and blowing of the lead. It's going to be great, hopefully. If not, it could be another AFC gritty down to the wire battle with Joe. And hold on, I just want to point out here that on the last preview on the Bills Hate Week, I said with Bam Jacobs that the Ravens against the Bills, it's going to come down to the wire, but we'd win this time. Man, was I wrong. Came down to the wire, and we still lost. But this one will be different. Ravens will ruin Joe Flacco's homecoming. It's going to be a great day to be a Ravens fan, but not a great day to be a Dundalk uncle or grandfather. Stat line for Flacco, if I really had to guess, since I think this is going to be a blowout, I think they're going to be throwing the ball a lot. Also, I think it's even possible that they just put Flacco on the bench, which is really unfortunate because I don't want the Ravens to be the reason why Flacco gets benched, because it is going to happen at some point in the season. For a lot of you guys that are jumping in your seats right now saying, Joe's good, you got to remember Joe's 41 years old. He's going to be benched at some point so they can give the young guys a chance. Because if they're going to have the #1 pick, they got to know if Shadur and Dylan Gabriel are worth keeping or not. Or keeping or not. Jesus, I just had a stroke. So if Shadur and Dylan Gabriel aren't good, they'll get a quarterback in the draft like Garrett Nussmeier. If Shadur or Dylan Gabriel are their franchise guy, they'll use that pick for something better. It's simple. So for the Ravens to be that nail in the coffin for probably his career being a starter, that would kind of make me upset. But it would also be pretty poetic. I will say that. And man, I'm making a lot of people in camo pants angry right now. But don't you worry, I'll have my camo pants on Sunday. Let's just go into a little Flacco memories here, because I'm making you guys mad in Dundalk. I had to use the accent to bring you guys back in. But yeah, I'll never forget, I was 9 years old, give or take. Flacco's first start. But we'll go back to the draft first. We got this dude from UD. I remember everyone was freaking out because he was like 6'6". But they always said, he's no Matt Ryan. He's solid. He's got a good arm, right? We still held out hope. I was a big Troy Smith guy, especially coming into training camp, because I got to play catch with Troy Smith, or I guess coming out of training camp, you should say. But it was one of the kids events where you get to play catch on the field. Or maybe I just got to play catch on the field with a player. I don't really remember. I just remember I was like a young kid. I got to play catch with Troy Smith, and then I was a big Troy Smith guy. I was like, that's my quarterback until I die, because I got to play catch with him. And Troy Smith was supposed to start week 1 against the Bengals, and then he got the flu. So they were like, man, I guess we're just going to start Joey Flacco, the rookie. And then they never looked back. Joe was great, and then Troy Smith kind of floated around a little bit with the Niners, and then career ended. Played in the Canadian League. What would have happened if Troy Smith never got that flu? I'm sure Flacco would have started eventually, but it's just kind of interesting to think about. And obviously, if we're talking about great memories with Flacco, you got the Mile High Miracle in the 2020 or the 2012 Super Bowl run. Really some great memories. And I hope they do showcase that before the game, because it's not just a home opener. It's the 30th year anniversary, or the 30th year season, I guess you should say. The 30th season. Man, I'm butchering everything here. But having one of the most historic quarterbacks in our history, if not the most, I'd say Lamar is. I'm sorry. Having him back in town for the 30th year, that's kind of awesome. So hopefully he gets a really touching video tribute on the Jumbotron, and maybe some more. But man, what are you guys thinking? Let me know down in the comments if you think it's going to be a close divisional gritty game with Joey Flacco, or if you think we're going to blow him out like I do. I'm guessing most of you are going to think it's going to be a pretty sizable win, because the spread is 10.5. And let's be honest, if Vegas is saying it, it's probably in the realm of likely. But I'm not going to call this one Cleveland Hate Week or anything like that. It's too special of a moment having Flacco come back for his homecoming, I guess you could call it. So we're not going to title this episode Cleveland Hate Week or anything like that. I don't even know what food is really popular in Cleveland for me to hate on either, which is why it's such a dump of a city. There you go. There's some hate. Not a big fan of Ohio. I know Cincinnati has those nasty chili dogs. I guess we'll lump them in together. But there's enough of the Cleveland hate. We're not going to call it Cleveland Hate Week. This is Flacco's homecoming. Thank you guys for watching another episode. Sorry to keep this one short, but I tried to cram in 2 in one night because it's been a busy week. But we'll see you after the Cleveland win. And we'll prepare you for the next game after that, the Lions game. So this one's going to be awesome against Detroit. I'm going to the game. It's going to be on Monday night. Maybe we can do a postcast right after the game ends, on the way home, in the car. We'll see how it works. But thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, give 5 stars, share it to your auntie, your grandma, your racist uncle in Dundalk, because this episode's about Flacco, so he's going to get a little upset. Thank you guys. We'll see you next time.